To see or not to see. Join the rush line, try the lottery, or pay full price, because it's the best show you'll see. To see or not to see. We are here ready to give you a 2019 year in review.
I cannot believe 2020 is around the corner. And there was a lot of good theater in 2019. A lot of not so good theater too. Let's get right into it.
It was entertaining either way.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about the best of Broadway. So, for me, Tina! I loved it. I saw it in December when the digital lottery was blown away by Adrienne Warren's performance and Daniel J. Watt's performance, my fave. What about you?
So I'm going to go with Hadestown. I just went into it not really expecting much. I heard it was a lot of hoopla. I missed it in New York Theater Workshop. Andre DeShills just gave a standout performance, consummate performer. And overall, great show from the ensemble, but the set design, the lighting, amazing.
Wow. Going to best off-Broadway. For me, it was Blacks at MCC's.
Okay.
Saw it in April. It was about 30-something women, black women in New York City, and the trials and tribulations of. I really loved it and identified with lots of the characters. That young single black girl story. I know a little something about it. Loved it. How about you?
Very entertaining show.
Yes. Comical.
For me, the best off-Broadway was Ain't No More by Jordan E. Cooper. That was at the Public Theater.
Oh, no, I didn't.
I mean, oh my gosh. You're talking about something that just knocked you off your feet. It gave you several different worlds about the black experience here in America. 2019, so 400 years from the start of slavery here in this country. They're calling everyone back home, all of the black people, to escape the injustice here. But it was very thought-provoking, very smart, very engaging.
So moving on to best performers. For me, female performance, I would give it to Adrienne Warren from Tina. Outstanding. I can only say go see her. I've seen nothing like it in my life. I bow to her. And for male, I give it to Ephraim Sykes from Ain't Too Proud. Great from both of them.
I picked Adrienne as well.
Yeah.
Was floored. And then also off-Broadway, Crystal Lucas Perry, who was in Ain't No More. She emotionally, she did this one character, several in this show, but this one character, it was just gut-wrenching. Oh,
I'm sad I missed that, the way you're talking about it. So for most vital or timely, for me, The Light. And that was at MCC. MCC came with it this year.
They did.
That was about a couple in Chicago of burgeoning love and what do you settle for? What do you compromise for? What does love really mean? Oh, it was good. And I really enjoyed it. What about you?
Yes. MCC, yes. And that set, yes.
Yeah.
The Light, yes. Great. I chose Danye Love's 1 and 2. I think a lot of us have forgotten about the statistics or aren't aware. 1 in 2 black men or men of color, gay men, are diagnosed with HIV. That's alarming compared to the statistics for white men, which is 1 in 8? Just really astounding piece of work. It's portrayed by 3 men. They don't even have names because that's how alarming the statistics are, but it kind of shows you a glimpse into the life and the finding out about it, trying to deal with it, the heartbreak. And it's just such an important reminder that we should not stop the fight against this disease.
We're moving on to most heartwarming. I selected Toni Stone, which played at the Roundabout Theater Company. It was about the first woman to break into the Negro Leagues and play among the boys. It was super educational, but not in a preachy way. I didn't really know anything about her prior to seeing the show. Really loved it.
I'm choosing something from the festival, Under the Radar. And that show is Hear Word. And it was an adaptation created by all these women from Nigeria and directed by Ifeoma Fafuna. There was women of a large age range talking about the issues that they deal with womanhood, abuse, coming of age, kind of finding themselves, the courage to kind of speak up and tell someone if you need help, if something is being done wrong to you. It was really quite an amazing journey these women put on, and it was like so earthy. The music was beautiful. It was phenomenal. Great experience.
Moving on to honorable mentions, plays that were really good but didn't fall into one of the categories that we've talked about thus far. I would like to mention Twisted Melodies, the Donny Hathaway story, which was put on at the Apollo. It was a one-man show. He was Donny Hathaway, and I completely was sold by his performance, learned a lot more about the mental illness that Donny Hathaway had, and he was not only able to act, but the singing was just as good as Donny Hathaway. For a moment, I got lost and thought it was him. That was excellent. And second, Ain't Too Proud. My mom is the biggest fan, and she's seen it 4 times. I saw it once, and that was...
I did not realize that.
Yes, and that was enough for me to be sold. I loved it. Wonderful performers, wonderful music, wonderful choreography. Really great. What about you?
So I'm going to say for Colored Girls, like, I can't get enough of Ntozake Shange. Miss her terribly. I actually got to see the show on her birthday, so it was a really special experience for me personally. I mean, Camille A. Brown's movement, and I thought it was just so smart the way that they portrayed Lady in Purple. It was a very inclusive cast. Lady in Blue, Sasha Allen, her voice.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing.
Ooh, was good. I didn't like the production overall, but yeah, she was bad.
And Lady in Purple was Alexandria Wiles. I mean, great. Among everything, the text holds true to date. So for me, the highest award goes to the text for Colored Girls. Then a shout out to Infoniso Dofia. Run Boy Running in Old Age were playing at New York Theater Workshop, and that's a part of her 9-play cycle. Love the work that you're doing. Keep it up, girl.
As I mentioned at the beginning, there was some great theater in 2019, but some things missed the mark. I gotta say, for me, Tootsie.
What was Tootsie?
We went together, and it was a whole mess.
I don't understand why people love that show.
Me either.
I don't know if we went on the off night, but that was
the guy who won the Tony Award, and he was a mess. Anywho, Tootsie, no, sorry. It's off Broadway, so you missed it. And then you enjoyed that. And then
I want a refund because we actually paid for that.
Oh my gosh, yes we did. We won the lottery, and oh my God, give me my money back. So then another one for me, The Cradle Will Rock at Classic Stage Company. Saw that back in April, and it was a snore. Unfortunately, there was no intermission, so it was just locked there in the seat. What about you?
So I'm going to have to say 17 Border Crossings by Thaddeus Phillips. That was at New York Theater Workshop too. Was trying to do something wonderful, but basically it was just about this white man going to all of these borders, having difficulty, and getting into all of these countries. And given where we are in this country right now, I don't know, it almost even felt a little insensitive. Totally missed the mark. If pretty hurts, then ugly must be a... So we did review that show. You can go back and check it out. I still kind of struggled with the church liturgical dance. And actually, I spoke to a colleague who was talking about the white face and from a certain culture in Africa, like that's done as a spiritual like connection. So I kind of see where she was aiming, the playwright, but that still kind of troubles me a little bit.
So, good and bad of 2019, we've talked about it all, but let's look forward with that 2020 vision. I'm looking forward to seeing MJ on Broadway. Ephraim Sykes is playing the title role of Michael Jackson. What will they do with it? There's so much that they could do, and hopefully they treat it with curiosity, as Lynn Nottage suggested that you told me today. So I'll be very interested to see how that turns out. I'm also looking forward to Mrs. Doubtfire, but as we know, sometimes what you see on the screen doesn't translate well to the stage, so let's just hope that goes okay. And then lastly, Next week, I'm seeing a soldier's play on Broadway with Jared Grimes and with Blair Underwood and David Allen Greer.
Yes.
So we'll see how that shakes out.
Yeah, so I put that on my list as well. The original was written by Charles Fuller, and I grew up learning about his work with the Negro Ensemble Company. So I'm really interested in seeing what that show is going to be like in this version. And then also Carolina Change is coming back to Broadway. And I missed it the first time. I was too young, or I don't know. I just completely missed it. So this time I'm curious to see what that's like. Yeah.
Well, you're going to be seeing lots more of our faces in 2020.
We're trying, you guys. I mean, we're busy, but we're seeing shows, and we want to bring you all the details and input that we can.
So look out for us in 2020.
Yes.
Look out for us and to see or not to see in 2020.
It's a new year.
Absolutely. Happy New Year.